What's up, everybody? This is Jacob Skelly, also known by my artist name, Squeeze Get 'em, of Get 'em Records and Get 'em Productions. And I wanted to talk a little bit today about a subject I call Know Your Place. Basically, the music industry nowadays has a lot of misconceptions and jaded views of its actual operation. And I've nationally toured, and in my pursuit of purpose in music, I've been afforded the blessing to be able to say that I've worked with major labels, indie labels, major artists, local artists, songwriters, producers, mixing engineers, mastering engineers, promoters, musicians, composers, tour routing specialists, managers, A&Rs, data analysts, marketing specialists, live sound technicians, A1 techs, A2 techs, board ops, security specialists, distributors, music managers, bloggers, and the list goes on. So as you can see, the scope of responsibility and knowledge of ability play a crucial and fundamental role in your success in the music industry. This portion of the video we're going to call the process. There's obviously endless avenues to decide on when and how to move when embarking on an endeavor with so many variables. So I'm going to, for this portion of our little video, describe the simplest process one could go through to obtain success in music. This is to get success in music. Let's say a songwriter or musician has drafted a composition, right? So they've created a composition. We're going to call that the work, right? So whenever they want to embark on that work to seek out a fiscal or moral or ethical return, they then they're going to have to go to a producer, okay? The producer is going to collaborate all the sounds and breathe some life into the work, maybe add some sounds to it, you know what I mean? They do some magic, right? But then, sticking to simplicity here, the producer is going to send raw stems and a raw reference track, right? A mixed demo here to a mixing engineer, right? Next page. A great mixing engineer is going to provide a stereo and mono formatted track. Well, two of each actually. One that's leveled at -1 decibels on a full scale, and another one that is -18 decibels on a full scale. The first being the good listenable project for those that are invested in the venture so far. The latter being used for the next step in the process, which will be the mastering engineer. Once the team is pleased with the overall vibe of the recording, a mastering engineer is the next stop for the little baby. The mastering engineer uses -18 decibels on a full-scale track work to be constructed into final file or media. Put that in parentheses, so I figured I'd put that kind of parentheses on it, even in my speech, I guess. And the -1 decibels on a full-scale track is going to be leveled, mixed, and the overall aim is to be for the vibe to be apparent. You know what I mean? They're going to take the overall vibe of the reference track, and it's going to be amplified 2 to 4 times at best. So basically, you'll feel more of the music. You know what I mean? It'll feel more enthralling to you. Once the mastering engineer standards and approval are met, he's going to ask the team if theirs are, and if they are, then they're going to be provided the final files, which will end our example here, knowing that this is the most general methodology of creating music successfully. Bam. So this next section is called the choices. And so basically marketing, distribution, promotion, licensing, they're all the main focus of this section. The team now has to decide, what are our resources? What are we willing to commit via time, money, and our focus? What distributor are we going to use? Do we have a major distribution contract? Is the song licensed and copyrighted correctly? Is there a publishing agreement in effect? Is there a filed and easily citable split sheet with everyone's signature on it and their splits and their numbers? Every time I try to do a split sheet with someone, guess what? You don't know how to fill it out. Well, if you don't know how to fill out a split sheet, don't ask me to work with you. I'm sorry. But I'm really not, because this is kind of directed towards y'all too. I'm not just going to be talking about some important stuff here when it comes to capitalism. I'm going to be talking about some important stuff when it comes to playing. Like, you know how whenever you're a kid and like you're sitting at home and you know, your mom and dad, they're like, hey, you want to stay home? So you stay sitting there and you're like, yeah, I can stay home. And they leave and you kind of like play house. You play house. Well, I think we've been playing house for a little too long. Anyway. Sorry, I'm just real passionate about this. You know what I mean? It is music. This section is called the choices. And ironically, I could probably say, do you fall under any of the scopes of responsibilities that I've discussed so far? If not, are you an artist? And it's funny enough. We all are. We all are. Human beings are art. We're the art of Mother Earth and the spark of consciousness. However, I've, in my almost 3 decades of existence, have seen the quality of life dramatically and exponentially degrade. As sound is of foundational importance, true professionals, real songwriters, real producers, real engineers, and real musicians must gang up. Because as I said, anyone's a real artist just by being. So music artists have become flooded with depreciation of their role in today's quality of life, and it's all currency's fault. Well, I say that with malice to my overall goal here because it's actually due to the lack of real currency. To my universe, I pledge my life's purpose to be providing real currency, not pesos, dollars, yen, francs, but sound and wisdom. I know that sound and wisdom doesn't sound like it's going to please Big Brother, but that isn't us. We aren't Big Brother. We're instead professionals that are allowing the pursuit of money to infect real currency and in turn influencing, progressing, and aiding the end. If you're a music professional publishing, publishing, whatever. If you're a music professional pushing to get jobs done and just to try to meet your quotas and your deadlines and your contractual obligations, or to just even ensure exposure, if you're rushing for any reason, I don't care what it is. You know what? I have close friends of mine that are starting to like try to say something like, you should be putting out a song a week, or that you should be putting out every song you press record on. And truly, house, playing house. You know what I mean? Good art takes time, and I get that we have excelled technologically as a species. And I get that things are really easy now to make look like it's the real thing. But I assure you that real good sound hasn't been heard in a long time. I know because I experience it daily with my EQs and my setup here. Now, it's hard to translate that to the stores because they all do their own type of thing, with the file, and stuff happens to it. It involves the bits, and I can't get into it because it's a little too in-depth for this video. But just know that this means the world to me. And it should mean the world to you. If you're watching this, it should mean the world to you. Really, it should. And ironically enough, the next thing I'm going to say is, remember that the archaic Egyptians didn't know that we were going to cherish their wall art one day. And Van Gogh doesn't know that his paintings are in museums. Bach doesn't know his compositions are held with I love the music industry. However, my morals and ethics and personal beliefs have stunted every chance to have success due to the flooding and oversaturation in the cup that all music professionals drink from, mainly because it's being siphoned by capitalist pigs. If you make music, let's create the next big thing, the real takeover. The accolades of music can be sent and seen as a good attempt. But there's no shame in a failure, because if you are a true professional, then you know that failure is what has defined you. It's what made you a professional, is failing. You failed because you kept your persistence and resilience, okay? That's the freaking secret here, people. Persistence and resilience, and resistance to the urge to want to cuss. I'd much rather see the overall amount of music and funding in the music industry come to a complete end than continuing to allow these facades and disingenuous people to further an industry with a smile on their face, ignoring the daily murders and rapes and robberies and backstabs and deceit, portraying as though music doesn't play a foundational role in the human condition. The thoughts of children, the thoughts of kids, everything is put in you. You are born and you are in your unconscious state, right? That's why you don't remember being a little baby, right? You took in everything that you've seen, everything you heard, everything you felt. And it's what created that consciousness. Yeah. The same guy profiting from sound nowadays when looking into the overall most funded professional music sectors, if you understand what I just said, you're going to get a shock out of this one, is the same guy who would say, oh, no, our new artist song that's entitled Shoot First, Boop, Their Thought After, had nothing to do with that shooting and rape that just happened. It's debauchery to try to attribute a person's decision to the music we all hear. Now, tell me y'all haven't heard something like that before. So truly your choices are collaborate with me on ideas on how we could fix this problem, or skip to the end of this video, or the end of me talking here, and know that that's your choice. Collaborate meaning in a way like Dr. Dre and Eminem collaborated, or how those two both collaborated with Johann Sebastian Bach. The truth is, music makes the world, and if you're in a spot to be blessed to if you are in a spot to be blessed to have a place or the knowledge to be in a place where you provide sound and feel purposeful doing so, then reach out to me at jacob@getemrecords.com. That's Jacob, Jacob, at getmrecords.com. And make sure that you make the subject line ***, music importance, ****. If you think you're seeing, if you think that you're seeing this or reading this, and anything that I just said is BS or crazy or wrong, then sit down, little boy. Sit down. Not in the office. At home. Or like at a McDonald's franchise or something, dude. For real.